To dream the impossible dream.
To dream the impossible dream.
To fight the unbeatable foe.
To fight the unbeatable foe.
To bear with unbearable sorrow.
To bear with unbearable sorrow.
And to run where the brave dare not go.
To run where the brave dare not go. This is the Kings of Chaos podcast. We talk from experience, not out of our ass. His name is Al, and my name is Adam. This is our show, and our show has begun. Al?
Adam, I'm speechless after that one, buddy.
It fit the theme.
I think so.
Yeah. Do you want to say what the theme is today?
I think it's actually a really important theme, and that is the concept of chivalry. And is chivalry dead? And even more importantly, if so, who killed it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Who did kill it indeed? But I mean the song fits. You know?
Absolutely.
Anyone who's ever seen Man of La Mancha kind of knows it's about a guy who thinks he's a knight when he really isn't, but he tries to take on all the virtues of a knight, and that's kind of what we're talking about today. Now, do you know where the whole concept of chivalry came from?
I know it's a historical concept. If memory serves me correct, it was kind of an established set of rules. I might be off with this, but I feel like it goes back even to the round table. Like when we're talking mythology.
We're
and
talking
everything
mythology,
else,
but we're also talking, I think, reality. I think
Yeah.
it was for medieval knights.
Yeah.
And it was a code of conduct created for them, more to protect, I think, all the women. Let's say you were, in your fortress.
Yes.
And you had all these, very strong, brutish men protecting you, but who protected all the women inside the fortress from the men? So they came up with a group of rules to protect them. And that is what we call chivalry today.
I like that. Definitely like that.
So, again, it's a code of conduct.
Okay.
I'll give you a synonym for it.
Go for it.
Think of the term distinguished gentleman.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, it's more, I think of it as James Bond.
Very refined.
Very refined.
Right? Very elegant.
Shaken,
very,
not stirred.
Yeah. Classy, chic, almost timeless in character.
It's timeless in character.
Yeah.
So that's existed for thousands and thousands of years. We've had a code for men, not for women, men. But what's the problem? Why is it disappearing?
Wow. You want to talk chivalry specifically, or you want to go a little bit bigger and dive into chivalry?
We can dive into chivalry and give examples of it first, if you like.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any off the top of your head? I mean, I have a list.
Oh, well, I mean, I think back, and even now, certain things, I was just the way I was raised, even certain values my dad instilled in me, but holding the door for a lady. If we're going out, opening the car door for her.
Oh, those are on my list.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got a lengthy list, right?
Yeah, no. I think I got 14 on here.
14. Hope this isn't like a game show where I've got to get all 14, or it's like the points go to you in
Family
terms
Feud,
of that,
you're
right?
getting- you're getting the big X each
exactly.
time you get one wrong.
That's the case. I
Yeah.
want Richard Dawson co-hosting with us. There's other little things. It's interesting. I mean, some of these are maybe nuances, and I don't know. Okay, so here's when we talk chivalry. I don't know if this is a North American cultural thing too, when we're talking about examples of it, and it would vary by culture. So I'm going to say what I presume is a North American expectation. Okay.
All right.
But little things like when I'm walking along the street, I've always thought about having the female on the inside of me.
Okay, but here, that's an interesting concept because that is part of chivalry, but why? And I actually had to find out. My mother had to tell me this.
Well, my understanding, okay, historically, I'm not so sure, but I presume it'd probably be
I
very
always thought it
similar.
wasn't so horseshit wouldn't get kicked up on you or her, but
Okay, I just presume even now it's if a car comes driving by, it's too close, I'm going to take the brunt of it versus she. And this would be maybe back in the day, actually, and someone riding through on a horse so that you're protecting the woman if someone happens to get stampeded.
I was
it's the poor
told
guy.
this is how people dump their garbage on the side of the road, and that's why the man protects the woman from the inside.
Okay, so
Did
going
not see that coming.
no, not at all. That one is like,
Yeah. But again, I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. So what are you protecting her from now? Puddles?
and this much I'll tell you. I am not taking off my coat and throwing it over. There's a really strange concept. It's called walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one's a little bit extreme, but okay.
Well, you can just carry that extra cheap coat that you can take with you. What about a tarp? Tarp would be fine. Go to the dollar store, get a tarp, and just keep it
But
with
the
you.
thing is, if I'm carrying a tarp and maybe like I tie it around, then I'm gonna come off looking like I think I'm Superman or something.
Yeah.
That's just
You'd
cheesy.
be
So,
better off just to ruin the coat.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah.
So again, we're talking about chivalry and a code of conduct. So it goes back to a set of morals and specific behaviors
Yeah.
that were given to these knights that have been passed down, even though most women today wouldn't call us knights, but it's still expected of us to be knights. And
I was gonna say, what about something you go out for dinner,
yep.
pulling out a chair?
Oh, yeah, let's go through this on the list. I can't wait.
Is it right?
I want to see if you're on here.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. You're going through. Okay. So pulling out a chair
Yeah.
at the end of an evening, walking her to her car or to the subway or wherever she happens
Stop
to be
you there
going.
for one moment.
Yeah.
What happens if she gets up to go to the bathroom? Do you stay seated or do you get up?
You stand up.
Of course.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you bow?
I don't personally.
Okay.
Okay. Did they back in the day? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
But I just
okay.
wanted to know if you did.
Yeah. No. I think that might be. I think at
I think
that
it's a
point,
little over the top.
it's just a little over the
Yeah.
top. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So pulling out the chair was one. What else you got? You're doing a good job so far.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
I had a couple of others, and then you got thrown off with the bowing part. What about just something as simple as full attention?
Yeah.
Right. And by that, I'm talking about eye contact.
Well, you're talking about then. What about now? It's way harder. Do you ever pull out your phone during dinner?
Never.
Never.
Okay.
Is it off or is it sitting in your pocket? Can you feel it if it keeps buzzing? Can she hear every time you get a ding on your phone from Bumble? Just kidding. Or if your mother calls you or any of those other things. Can you still hear it? Is it vibrating or is it just off?
It's actually off when I go out, unless I know one of two things. There, back in the day when I was in the school system, especially if there was, a heavy duty day ahead and I was out that night, I would
Yeah.
keep it on in case of emergencies. I would let her know ahead of time.
Okay.
The other thing is obviously if there's certain circumstances, personal circumstances where I need to be available, and
Yes.
again, I'll let her know.
Like a parent with a child that, they're home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, no, it's on
You'd
vibrate.
explain that in those situations.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But no, it's on vibrate and it's usually in airplane mode, which makes my family and other friends nuts. I'm like, we can never get in touch with you. And it's like, well,
Which brings
you
up
find a
another
way.
point though, because we're talking about the phone here.
Yeah.
So, one of the key ways that people know to get out of a bad date is to have a friend call them. So if your phone's off, you've kind of lost that extra way to kind of escape. So what would you do? Hide out in the bathroom?
Depends.
I know I'm getting off topic.
No,
Sorry.
if there was a window that I could bail, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that Big Bang episode? You just what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where she bails on Raj. No, you know
It's
what?
not nice to leave your date hanging.
In all seriousness, having someone call partway through in case it's a bad day to get you out is just in poor taste.
Yeah.
Again,
It's not chivalrous.
it's beyond.
Yeah.
It's beyond. You know what? You go out, you make the best of the evening, you spend some time, you still be a gentleman. At the end of the evening, it was nice to meet you. You can show, I'm not feeling the chemistry, I'm not feeling the connection, but it was still nice to meet you.
Because we were talking about dating, another time, but we will have that episode coming out at some point. But it's just, it's one of those things where you don't really, go into a date thinking that it's going to be the be all and end all of your life. And you may not really enjoy the date 100%, but you can always find things that you enjoy about the person, or you can just enjoy having a conversation and meeting someone new.
Things you can take away, things you can learn. Like, again, it's what you put into it and the experience that you make, right?
Yeah.
So
Just making a
there's
new
that.
connection. And the
Absolutely.
truth is, if that connection doesn't work, they have friends too. right? You can always be introduced to new people.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
It beats being on an app.
Hell yeah. Chivalry. What else?
What else you got?
else?
Because I have a list in front of me, but I want to see, what you have. So you're usually pretty good at this off the top of your head.
It's when all of a sudden it's under pressure, it's like, oh wow. One thing I always do, which I would think would be on there, I'm not sure, but at the end of the night, I always either text or ask the woman to text me so I know she got home safely.
Have you ever had a woman? Well, this actually shows that she liked you. Have you ever had her text you beforehand and beat you to it?
Yes.
Yes. More often than not. I'm just thinking about how things have changed.
I think it varies. I also think it depends on where we might be meeting that first date. So if it's close to her home and I have a lengthier drive or I'm subwaying it by the time I get in. So if I'm driving, I'm not texting at that point in time.
Yeah.
Lesson for all of you who text and drive, don't do it.
Don't do it.
No.
I actually had the other night, and someone that I'd gone on a few dates with, and we were out together.
Right.
And what I thought was funny is I just said that I was leaving the bar, just because we had been talking, even though I shouldn't be having my phone out even when I'm with my friends. But so she messaged me. She said, "Let me know when you get home." And literally, I was home by the time she sent that message, which was 3 minutes later. That's how far I was. But it's nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And reciprocity, which I think would make a great topic for a featured podcast, but reciprocity is an amazing thing. But going back to chivalry, I'm not talking about the first date, because often, especially if it's through a dating app, if it's different if you meet someone organically or if it's a setup, but let's say through an app, most likely the first time you're going to meet in a public place. I understand that. Women want to be comfortable, safety, all this. They want to get to know you. But let's presume it goes on. It continues. When you go to pick her up, here's a weird concept.
You still open the door? Those old doors were hot, like really heavy. So I get why you did that. Well, originally it was a carriage, and you actually had to help her up into the carriage, and then it became the car.
Yeah.
And now it's your moped. But
no, don't go moped. Don't go moped. No.
You help her on with her helmet?
Exactly. No, it's just not a good look. No, what I was going to say is go up to the door. Go up to the door. Don't sit there. Don't be honking on the horn.
Oh, no.
Don't be sitting there calling from the car. Don't be texting.
That's a teenage boy thing to do, because he's so afraid to go meet the dad.
Yeah. Like, get your ass out of the car. Go up. Ring the doorbell.
Well, I'll tell you a good story, actually, and this has to do with my mother when she was dating.
Okay.
And, these guys would definitely try to be chivalrous by coming into the house, not realizing that my mom had 4 teenage boys sitting in the house. And, I'll give these guys credit because they really tried. And, at some point, I think she was dating all accountants. So they were kind of just very straight-laced and all that. And we'd have a lot of fun with them. But I still give them credit for doing this, because it's just, it's nerve-wracking, especially back in the day, because it doesn't happen as often to walk into someone else's house.
Yes.
And, have to meet their family. You used to have to actually call, like if you wanted to speak to someone, actually speak to someone of their family on the phone. That never happens anymore. You're speaking always directly to the person. You never have to get around any gatekeepers. But we'd have fun with them. We'd send one brother out. We'd open the window so the guy could see that he was taking down his license plate and then act like he was running it. We would do stuff like that. We would ask them some crazy questions about themselves, sexuality, all those kind of things, just, for fun. Yeah. And that's what teenage boys do. But, I'd be way worse than meeting someone's dad. I got to tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
And most women, thankfully, it's not like the old extended family where people are still living with their parents, especially as we get older. I don't think you've dated someone where you showed up and you picked her up and her dad was there.
Probably, yeah. I'm going to say, 20 years.
But okay. I'll give you. You're a good man for getting out of the car and going to the door.
Yeah.
That long, 10-step walk to get there.
It's taxing. Let me tell you, it's very taxing.
All right.
All that time at the gym's not
I'm going to read off this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm curious by this point.
No, I'm going to see if you have one more. Let's see.
One more?
One more.
Wow. Can I call a friend? Is there multiple choice? Is there...
You are getting higher up there in the levels. I'd say you're at like the 500,000 level at this
really?
point.
Oh, man, the pressure is kicking in.
You're doing well. So
it's kicking in. You know what?
Close to the million.
Can I throw one out? I'm gonna ask a friend. I'm gonna ask the producer if he has any ideas. He's shaking his head. No, he's got nothing. Okay.
He's been married a long time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm stumped.
You're stumped?
Can I take the money and run right now? Can I take the 500,000? KOK dollars and leave the
You
show?
can take the money and
Okay.
run. I will read the list, but I'm
Yes.
going to make you wait a minute yet. I want to go back to this whole concept of, chivalry again, and let's talk about it. What does chivalry value? Honor.
Okay.
Okay. Personal values,
Yep.
courage, protecting the weak. Sounds like an issue in today's world, protecting the weak.
And courage.
Yeah, but the weak would be children.
To me, the weak would be any vulnerable population,
Yeah.
right? So it can be children,
Mm-hmm.
it can be vulnerable adults.
Male or female.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It can be, not in all cases, I don't want to generalize, obviously, but we're talking groups.
Yeah.
It can be older adults. For those of you who are not quite sure what I'm talking about, seniors.
Yeah. Definitely seniors.
Right.
With our aging population, that's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you think about the vulnerable population,
Okay.
absolutely.
So honor, core values, courage, protecting the weak. Let's go back to this whole idea of the distinguished gentleman.
Yep.
I kind of pulled this one out of pop culture. I think most of our viewers will know this reference. And I'm going to go to the movie Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Okay, which also has a kind of chivalry aspect to it.
Yeah.
Kind of, what is it? My Fair Lady, Pygmalion. Yeah, I think it's stealing from that a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah. So of the two characters, okay, so you have the main character, right? Richard Gere's character.
Yeah.
And then you have his friend, was Stucky is his name, or
Would you believe it? I don't remember the other character. Like I think Richard Gere.
yeah.
And I think Julia Roberts. And honestly, everything else, it's like, it's a blank. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah.
Okay. So you have the two characters,
Yep.
right? One is, the one she's dating. And in the movie, anyone who doesn't know, he's a very rich man and he meets a prostitute on Sunset Boulevard. She's very smart, and very capable, and he needs someone to help him figure out how to drive stick on his car. And she
That's not a
knows
euphemism for
no,
anything. Not in
no,
this
no,
case,
no,
right?
I'm not
Okay.
going there, but
Because this is an episode on chivalry.
and Al usually hides this side of him. Mine's usually out there, but you just saw that
There you go.
for the second time this season.
Some role reversal.
So, but no, so she helps him drive the car back to his hotel. Then, they make an arrangement.
Yeah.
But within that arrangement, obviously, I think it's a Disney movie, so I think they fall in love, which is, natural we'll get into how movies are structured in a certain way, and that may not be the best for people.
You mean like there's a method, there's a formulaic
there's a
approach?
formula to it, yeah.
Hollywood's not
Romantic
real?
comedy, yeah.
Oh,
Full
wow. Okay.
hour and a half of, manipulation. However, I love you, Disney. I really do. I love Marvel too. But what I wanted to talk about is the difference between the two characters, right? And it kind of shows up. It's like two different kinds of men,
Yeah.
right? You have a virtuous kind of man who's just, even though he seems really tough, he has, certain values where he's not afraid to take on other men, especially in this movie. But even then, he starts to show a warmer side to himself as the movie goes on. Then you see kind of the Weasley other character, right? Who only cares about money, only cares about himself. And that culminates in one scene in the movie where, his friend tries to take advantage of Vivian, Julia Roberts' character.
Yep.
And I've seen this movie a billion times, by the way, with every girlfriend I've ever had. My mother used to love to watch it. Like, I could watch it on TV anytime it comes on. I've seen it so many times. But the whole thing is then he slaps her, right? And then, Richard Gere's character comes in, and I'm not going to say his name because I know all the women know it. But he comes in and he protects her, right? And it's just like, that part of him kicks in, right? In some ways, those two men are very similar.
Yeah.
But you see the difference of it. One's still holding on to this idea of chivalry and common goodness, if you want to call it, and protecting people. The other one's totally lost it, right? So I found that kind of interesting.
But in terms of making a parallel to right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I know we've spoken about this before, we've spoken to other people about this, the idea of polar opposites in terms of guys out there.
Okay.
The nice guy
Mm-hmm.
and the asshole or the badass.
Okay, who does better in the dating apps? Let's ask that question first. The married guys. Okay, I just trumped you with a third option.
I think it depends on what someone's looking for. All externally, they always seem to want potentially the badass. but value-wise, maybe the nice guy. And in the end, neither one's an ideal
Have we
mesh.
talked about the issue that women have with the nice guy? Have we touched on that ever before? I'm not sure we
No,
have.
no, we haven't. But here's my
Yeah.
thing, okay? When you think chivalry,
Yeah.
you might think the nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference between chivalrous and being a doormat.
Yeah, but the nice guy's still a weasel in his own way.
Absolutely.
When you get to the heart of it and you start to see the people pleasing and, giving her everything that she wants only to be passive aggressive later on and get really pissed off and use it against her. That's,
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
Now, the asshole is an asshole. Like I'm not justifying it, but if we go to the idea from asshole to badass, okay, that whole
Didn't you
image.
call yourself an asshole last episode?
No,
you're just going to skirt over that? Okay, keep going. But anyways, I know you didn't mean it that way.
I was just trying to make a point.
Okay.
But when people talk about they want that badass look, this and that, it might be that physical attraction they're looking to.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you have to have that connotation or those traits that necessarily go with that, where it's that toxic masculinity, that
Well, what's
around.
in toxic masculine that's attractive? Let's go to another Disney movie. I'm sorry, Disney. Gaston,
Yeah,
right? Where's the attraction there, other than the beautiful singing voice? But what's the attraction to Gaston?
it's all physical.
No, it's not just physical. There's something in there that
that
he is what he is. Okay, there's nothing fake about that. That is who he is.
Yes.
Whereas with the nice guy, that is not necessarily who he is. He's faking it to get something out of you, and women pick up on that.
But
I know we're kind of diverging
we
from
are
this, but we're
diverging.
still talking about it.
Okay, when you say that is the actual that is who he is, yeah, in some cases absolutely, but in some cases even that is a mask.
Okay, but we're saying that today's distinguished gentleman is somewhere in between that.
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah.
Not the Weasley guy,
No.
not the overbearing guy who, he's attractive because you know what he is, right? Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay? Whereas there's that guy in the middle who kind of, teeter-totters between both, and he's the secure dude.
But it goes back to what I believe in. Why do we have to have extremes with everything? In this day and age, everything needs to be extreme. So why do you have to be one or the other? Why can't you have this balance or this almost centrist idea where you can be chivalrous, you can have a little bit of an edge, you can actually be genuine and authentic.
I think you can.
Be vulnerable. Absolutely.
I think you totally can.
I don't disagree, but everything now seems to be extremes. And I feel like we're extending the topic a little bit.
We are extending the topic, but it's just like we hit on that, so it was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And we can bring it up another time and another, another
I mean, I don't want to lose focus with the
No,
chivalry.
we're totally not.
And
We're just, I'm kind of, I'm just taking you off because I wanted to see where you go with that. But, we can come back to this because, I'm going to go through this very long list.
Okay.
First off, though, I wanted to give credit where credit is due. A lot of the research I got was from a couple different magazines. One was called, for the idea of chivalry, the code of conduct. Distinguished Gentleman came from Carol Magazine.
Okay.
.com. The article was entitled "The Chivalry in Modern Times, Not Dead but Definitely Evolved." The author's name is Kim Burns.
So it's not on life support?
We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go into this whole list of, all the different types of chivalry. This came from thoughtcatalog.com. The author's name is Cody Nealis. It's from 2014 and is called Old-Fashioned Acts of Chivalry that Need to Make a Comeback. And here is the list. Okay. Let's see how many you got. And feel free to tell me when I hit on one.
Okay.
Number 1, calling, not texting to ask her out on a date.
No. I agree, but no, I didn't hit on that one.
No, you wouldn't hit on that one. That's a hard one, but I think that's also unfair. So when we're talking about chivalry, we're just talking about the strongest of all men. Okay? Now let's go to introverts and extroverts. What's the greatest thing that ever happened to introverts? They don't have to use the phone.
Technology.
They get to text.
Absolutely.
Right? So, I mean, yes, for the very confident, and yes, it depends on who you are. The more confident you are, the more chance you're going to get that date by asking her out.
Absolutely.
However, for certain people, the text is going to work for them. The text is going to work for the girl too, and you're going to sell yourself in the meeting. Look, it all starts on an app to begin with.
Yeah. Whether once they meet, they can pull it off and they can demonstrate the skills to be able to see how things go, to engage the other individual, so on and so
Well,
forth.
it's
But
attractive to get over your fears too. So if someone is willing to make that call and be very confident in the call and charming and
absolutely,
all these things, then yeah, that's attractive. Those men will have a better chance, but there's still a chance for the people that
yeah,
are more shy. Technology really helped them out in this situation. But yes,
yeah.
this is age old, and it's like, before calling or texting, what'd you do?
And
You
this,
showed up on her front lawn, serenaded her, threw rocks at her window. Her dad came out and beat the crap out of you.
especially because the rock I threw was so big. I
Exactly.
can't tell you about the damage, but that's a whole other
We're
story.
going back so far they didn't even have windows. You couldn't even break anything.
Exactly.
You were throwing stone at stone. And then they throw garbage on you. But like hopefully you were like shielding the woman
Moving,
behind you.
exactly. I made sure I was on the outside. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So calling, not texting to ask a girl on a date. I believe you said number 2, which was holding doors open.
Ding ding.
Opening doors. This happened to me the other day. I was actually just going to pay for my gas at a gas station, and sometimes you hit the door at the same time, and it was me against this 80-year-old woman, beautiful older woman, gave me a big smile, and she just looked at me. She goes, "Beauty before age." I'm like, "Can't do it. I gotta let you go first." And she also wouldn't let me do it. Like it was a standstill for a couple minutes, but finally I was like, "You have to."
You know what's funny about that? Yesterday,
Yeah.
the same type of thing with an older lady, and the automatic door. We got there more or less the same time, and I kind of just waved. I said, "Please, after you." And she smiles like, "Thank you. You're such a gentleman." But almost like this state of disbelief, where it's like he didn't try and just trample me and knock me on the way
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
So, and that I think that's part of it. Even though we're talking about chivalry, and a lot of it we're talking about how it pertains to dating,
Yeah.
it applies to everything else in terms of life skills, social skills, interactions with other people.
You just instill that in your kids. So anyone, if you're first or like hold the door, right? It's like even
Absolutely.
like let's say you're going to pay for something in a store. So you're going to be second. Who cares?
Yep.
Like don't lose that part of you where you can be the person. So here, I'm here first. Let me hold the door open for you. And then I'll come in after.
Hey, those good values are still what sets people apart.
Yeah.
We can't lose sight of that.
No, but you're teaching your kids please and thank you. How hard is it to teach hold the door? And I'm sure
Yeah, you saw me rolling my
Yeah,
eyes,
but you're
but
going to get on a tangent about getting up and letting someone have their seat too, which you don't see very often anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that we see that all the time too,
absolutely.
right?
But the thing is, a lot of parents don't teach these skills anymore.
It's not just they don't teach the skills anymore. It's like some people don't believe in it anymore. We'll
Yeah,
get into why.
yeah.
But I'm just saying it's a different world than when we grew up also, and it changes constantly. Every little
And, and
generation.
and you have to change with it, but there's certain things. There's no reason to lose a sense of humanity and a sense of decency.
But we'll come back to that.
Oh, I know. We need to.
We will come back.
Yeah,
to
we're not done with this.
it. No, we're definitely not done with
No.
this part. But let's get through this list.
Okay, let's go through that list. People want to know.
Okay. You said walking in the door to pick her up. Did you say walking in the door to drop her off?
I did say when the
You
evening is
said the
over.
call, yes.
No, I said when the evening's over, though.
Yeah.
I also said whether it's walk her to the subway, like, let's say it's a first
Yeah.
date, walk her to her car, walk her to her home. Yep.
Yeah. Making sure a woman gets home okay, walking her to the door. So that's very important. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other scenarios I want to think of. I'll come back to that.
Okay. I'm sure you will.
You did say the next one, which was pulling out her chair for her.
Yep.
But not like too far. Not like you're pulling it away, like you're playing like
Like
musical chairs.
or
and you
like
just,
back,
pull the
back,
chair.
back in school, tricked you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That defeats the purpose of it.
But all the time, or like, let's say you take her out to like, you're out dating someone, you're out for an anniversary dinner, it's a fancy restaurant, you do it like, you go into like McDonald's, even though I know the McDonald's chairs aren't like that, but you're gonna pull out her chair for her?
No, I won't eat at McDonald's.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So, but this is more like
No,
first date etiquette, second date etiquette.
Or depending on a nicer place, this and that.
But I mean, back then, the funny thing is, this was all the time, every time.
Absolutely.
Right now, we pick and choose of what we think is appropriate. This isn't on the list, by the way, but wearing your hat in public, like in a restaurant,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Goes on all the time.
You know what that reminds me of? Talking about clothing. That's another one. Is I'm a big believer in someone comes over, right? Wintertime, I take their coat. Let me grab your coat. Let me hang it up for you. Not just, okay, you hang it up. You take care of it
You
yourself.
take it hanging behind someone's chair, or let me
Exactly.
take that to the coat check for you.
Yeah.
Let me, we're at our house party. Let me take this up to our friend's bedroom so I can snoop. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Not
Not that you would ever do that. No.
Never. You never find interesting things in people's, desk side tables, like romance novels that are underlined with words like throbbing. I've never done it. Trust me. Only when I was a kid. Good thing it was before I could read.
There-
4, ordering. No, that's the thing. You talked about protecting your coat
Yes.
if you had to throw it down in a puddle. I'll let you see if you can answer this one. Number 4 is another situation where a coat would come in handy for
Oh,
you.
yeah, of course. If someone's cold.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that one. I still do that.
Okay, but what if it's not a coat and it's like, fall? You're gonna let's say you're only wearing your thick wool sweater, nothing underneath. Here, take my sweater.
I mean, that would probably be an awkward situation for everyone.
I want you to be warm. My nipples are gonna fall off. Yes. No, but just if
But
you have a
yeah,
coat,
you have a
and
coat, a
yes,
sweater, even a scarf, whatever.
I mean,
Gloves.
give someone a hug as long as you have their permission to do so first.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that consent
Permission's
is important.
important.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 5, compliment your date on her appearance.
No.
What are you complimenting? Put you on the spot.
For me, it's you look beautiful tonight.
See how charming you are.
Yeah. Just, be like how beautiful she looks.
Mhm. You don't go in for the kill right away. The first one is you look great.
I'll be like, yeah, you look beautiful, or that dress looks gorgeous on you, or
it's the one thing you can focus on when you first meet someone, right?
Yeah.
Really like your dress.
Yeah.
Your hair looks great.
great.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are great shoes.
Yeah,
By the end of
or
the night, it's you have beautiful eyes, you have beautiful lips.
We're gonna cut. I'm gonna cut you off
Can
there.
I hold your hand?
I'm cutting you off there.
All right, sorry. Was I getting ahead of myself?
Yes.
This isn't just planned. It's just, this is what happens on a date.
Absolutely. But this topic is about chivalry.
It is about chivalry.
So-
But even then, I'm still complimenting. Here's a good one.
Okay.
And sometimes you do this, sometimes you don't. Drop her off before parking.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
All the time?
No.
No.
I think it depends. I mean,
Does it make sense if you pull right up in front of the door?
so you can't even open the car door?
Yeah.
It's like just go out the window.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's especially nice.
Or there's
on really
a valet.
Cold.
You go with the valet.
exactly.
She stays. Yeah.
Cold winter day. It's raining. Something like that.
Mhm.
No.
Or it's a busy restaurant and
Yeah.
you don't want to wait in the restaurant, so you send her in first. There are still those selfish men out there. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I can just, I can argue any side of any argument.
I think everyone's coming to understand that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm still staying on the topic of chivalry.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm on
You're
his
still
side
there.
of chivalry. Yeah.
So, okay. So that was drop her off before parking. Number 7, you hit on. Protect her by walking on the inside of the street, which I think we got to the bottom of.
Yeah.
You're covered in garbage, so that's good.
Yep.
So when you take her back to her house, she's definitely not letting you in.
Oh, hell no.
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 All right.
And I'm going home to shower.
You're going home to be hosed down. Throw
It's
some,
like
throw some lye on you.
like the CDC, like those hazmat suits
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
And yeah,
Yeah.
spray me down.
Fully hose you down.
Yeah.
Number 8, send her flowers just because. You ever dated someone that has told you explicitly, do not get me flowers?
No, not that I can think of.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had women that do not see the value in flowers.
Okay.
Even as a sentiment. Having a hard time speaking today. Sentiment. Yeah, they didn't appreciate it. I can't tell you how many pots of flowers I've got. So they could grow something, or here's a bonsai tree, enjoy. Right? Look, but some people like that.
Yeah. So you go with an edible arrangement instead.
Yeah, they don't.
Here's a lovely basket of fruits. Unlike me, I hope you're not allergic to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some weird things you could send, but flowers is, typical. And, if we say not to send flowers, we'll kill a whole industry. So we won't say that. The next one, we are going to say, pick her up at the door. Don't honk your car. How many do you have right so far? 4?
Let me look. I don't know. This is
I'm
the
on
list.
number 9.
Hang on.
I'm going to
You
go
keep
back
reading.
to holding the door open is 1. Making sure she gets home okay.
2.
2.
Pulling out the chairs. 3.
Offering your coat in a different way was 4. I'll give that one to you.
Okay.
Compliment your date on your appearance. You did not do that.
No.
That's a no-no. She
No,
doesn't
no.
like you. Your date's over.
Yeah.
Drop her off for parking was no.
No.
Protect her by walking on the inside of the street is 5.
5.
Send her flowers, no. So that is 5 out of 8 so far.
Yeah.
And
6
now
out of
I'm-
9. Pick her up at the door. Don't honk.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
I also
Take
said
her
don't
out to the
call it.
door. Don't honk. You're correct.
Six
I'll
out
give
of
you that.
nine.
6
Yeah,
out of 9. See,
that's a pretty good.
there's
If this is
14.
yeah, but this is baseball. It's a pretty good batting average. Beyond.
You're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 10, and I'm going to assume this is once you start dating. Leave her love notes, because otherwise that would be called stalking.
Yes.
And we don't do that.
No.
No.
But what about even a nice text? Thinking of you.
Well, I
saying
think that's
something?
love notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, like.
Because the thing is, I lost my inkwell and my quill. So it's a lot harder for me to use my calligraphy and my old English and everything else to write those love notes and then send it by carrier pigeon.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's lots of nice situations, male or female, if someone does that for you. I once had, I was working and I had an ex-girlfriend show up at my office because she got off the subway right near my office. She was coming to dinner with me and my kids.
Okay.
They were all sitting in my office. I walked in my office the next day. I saw sticky notes everywhere.
That's awesome.
It wasn't great that everyone else in the office saw them, but it was just,
But
it's a nice feeling.
It's a
So
great
I
feeling.
can see in the opposite. Now, having said that, you want to go to the extreme of this, I'll do this on the other side. There was one time, and this probably ruined me early on for women, and I know, but there was a girl I was dating, and I went to a lot of work when I was really young to create a scavenger hunt for her.
Wow.
And I created the cards and everything, and it wasn't all over the city, but it made sense. It was like all over the house.
Okay.
And different things,
Yeah.
and they're all little things that culminated in one big thing. She hated it.
No.
I hated it.
Come on.
And I told that to other women, like, I would love if you did that for me. I'm like, can't do it. Sorry, ruined.
That's some serious trauma.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I know that hurt me.
Yeah.
But
that was sweet.
it's more because
I'm gonna give you credit where
writing
credit's
was
due.
so good too. I rhymed with the best of them and just nothing. So,
Wow.
So anyways, yes, that was a vulnerable little piece of information for all of you. And men, make sure that she likes it before you do it. Next, but yeah, again, go back, leaving someone love notes. But as you're saying, go back to texting. Texting is yes,
Yeah. I
right?
think so.
But not incessantly.
No.
Periodically.
No.
Like in the morning, is it nice? That's a good conversation again too. Is it nice to text someone good morning and good night?
My pattern's always
Every
been
day?
See, I'm the type who texts good morning every morning because I know people are busy, everyone's rushing to work, but I make sure I call every night.
Yeah.
I want to hear I want to hear that person's voice before I go to bed. I just don't want to read, oh, good night.
Yeah, if it's reciprocal though.
Yeah,
Right?
it goes back to the idea of
But the thing is,
reciprocity
if
with
you're
everything.
comfortable in yourself and you have all these million other things going on and you like someone between the two of you, you like connecting throughout the day too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at
But
all.
if you're trying to connect with someone and they're not giving you anything back, you probably don't want to do that.
No.
So again, this works out to the dynamics of the relationship. But yeah.
Yeah.
But notes are nice. People do appreciate them
I think so.
as long as they're not creepy.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Guys, really learn about the 5 love languages. Another podcast, but learn about it. Gentlemen, please.
Yes. And learn yours too, not just theirs.
Yes.
Yes. So what number are we on now? Leave her love notes. 11.
Yeah, 11.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
Keep your promises. How do people get in trouble usually?
By breaking promises, and breaking promises are break of trust.
Yeah. So over time, what happens to the relationship
erodes
every
it.
time you break it? I'm going to be on time for this. I promise. Nope. Right?
Yep.
I promise to make a reservation so we can go to that restaurant.
Forgot.
No. I promise that I will call you at this time before we go on our date to make sure that everything's okay. Nope. So
It's a relationship killer.
yeah, I think it's a big relationship killer. It
'cause
chips
like you
away at
say-
it slowly over time, and someone just doesn't have faith in you anymore.
That's
right.
like I say,
If you're a
it-
man of your word, chivalry,
Yeah.
then you can be someone that people can believe in, whether it's in your love life or in your workplace or anywhere.
Yeah.
With your mom. It's like, sure, mom, I'll come help you move that. And then you call your brother and you ask him to do it for you.
Not that you're talking from personal experience.
No, I still
Okay,
won't. I'm
okay.
always the one.
I figured as much.
I'm the one with the big shoulders. That's why I get asked to do it.
There you go.
12. Make special time for her before you say it.
No. Quality time.
Okay.
Quality
I
time.
thought you were going to go a little dirtier than that.
No. This is topic on chivalry.
I thought you were
Say-
talking like, candle in the room, love lotion, petals everywhere. Not that kind of quality time.
No, I'm thinking just time for the two of you, something that she enjoys, time where it's just a chance to connect.
Now, here's a problem again in this day and age.
Yeah.
So, It's happened in relationships too. In the beginning, you're dating someone and you watch hockey, they'll sit with you, they like spending time with you, they'll sit and watch it with you. You'll sit and you'll watch, The Bachelor. I prefer, to watch The Bachelor to The Bachelorette, right? For obvious reasons.
Yeah, I wonder
Even though The
why.
Bachelorette sounds better and The Bachelor doesn't, The
Yeah,
Bachelor
yeah,
actually in reality is
yeah.
better
Yeah,
for the guy.
yeah.
Um, but you know what I'm saying? It's like in the beginning, you both do that for each other. So now, even though you're making quality time for each other, one of you sitting on your phone because you're not interested in what the other person's watching. You're not even talking to them.
Quality time in terms of something both of you enjoy,
Okay.
something that both of you can be engaged in, something it's a shared experience.
But why does this relate to chivalry?
Because the way I look at it is, in terms of that quality time,
Mm,
okay, it's showing the genuine intent,
mhm.
the interest in the other person. It's also about making time. It's saying that you are a priority versus
So
everything
the
else.
chivalrous part of it is you're keeping love alive. It's like you're keeping the romance alive in your
And you're making
relationship.
them a priority. It shows your priority versus, okay, it's the hockey game's on, so you can watch it with me, and whatever you can be.
What if she ups the ante and like, rub my bunion feet? Are you doing it?
I'm like, go see a podiatrist.
Like toenails are like talons. You can't know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's
No, and
not the.
this goes male or female,
Sounds like,
right?
well,
Yeah,
are you
when
dating?
women wouldn't do it either.
What are you dating? A hobbit?
No, just it's like it never happened to me. I just I can imagine if it did, what I would think. But no, look, quality time is, but again, it's your love language. If you're not the kind of person to rub feet, and that's what the other person needs, maybe it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
And we all know what happens if a man offers you a back rub. Ladies, don't do it ever. What's the next one we're going to?
So what did you say? Give
Number
her.
12
Oh,
is make special
full time.
time.
Yeah, so we did that one.
Special. Number 13. Actually, there's 15 here.
Yeah,
I put number 13 down twice.
lucky number 13. There you go. Yeah. Spontaneously ask her to dance is chivalrous.
Save the Last Dance for me. It's a great song. No?
It's not that. It's just it seems so specific. It's not about spontaneity with something in general. It's just very like spontaneously ask her to dance.
Spin your partner round and round, kick him in the balls, and he'll fall down.
I was finding it interesting with that one. I don't know.
No, but it's a chivalrous thing. Think of it like, you go back to the nights and you've watched any of these movies about kings and queens, it's like they have these huge balls, right?
I want to know how they fit them in the suits of armor.
And that too, yeah. That's why they wore those huge outfits to hide them. That was good. No, but they had these huge galas. Sorry, my bad. And that's what the men would have to do. They would have to go. These women were showing up. Like think of Cinderella.
Yep.
She's going to the. I'm not saying the word again. She's going to the place where she lost her slipper so that she can meet a
That's
man.
not a euphemism either.
Yes,
Yeah,
so she can lose hers.
I honestly, I said,
Roll right here.
it's like we should just wrap up this list and move on.
Oh, I'm fighting through it. So, anyways, yes, he would have to ask her to dance because the reason she's showing up to the ball gala, slipper losing, is because that was the thing back in the day. The debutante would show up, a man was supposed to sweep her off her feet and all that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that makes sense. In today's world, no, you show up on the dance floor, it's two women dancing together, they bounce you out right away. It's like they don't want anything to do with you. You're out. Number 14. Sorry, it says 13 twice. Give her your complete attention.
Which is kind of like to me is make special time for. I
I
understand
believe
they're
that's
different,
situational, not always, but yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So why? When would you do this? Give her your complete attention. Number one, she has an issue with you. Give her your complete attention.
I mean, that one's a given, but
Active listening. Oh, we were talking about that last night.
we were.
Yeah, active listening, very important there.
But I think it's important to do it every day. I think in this day and age, we're so busy with so many things that we're not fully present.
Yeah, but
And
imagine at kids, job, your phone's always going. A friend's always trying to get a hold of you because everyone's away. You don't even work in an office anymore, most people, right? So everything's external to you, all in one little device, and it's a huge distraction.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but make sure you find some time every day to connect. That connection daily is important.
Yeah. But
Especially if you're under the same roof.
No, but there's times where you want to connect with someone. Let's say, you're married and she's been out with the kids all day, right? And like, let's say you do it on different days, but whatever. In this particular day,
Yeah.
she's the one who's gone, picked up the kids, had to take them to their things. You had to do something for work, so you're home a little bit later, and then she's coming home and like, you're okay because you've had at least an hour to
Yeah.
relax. Now she's coming first thing is like, I'm just going to bed, right? And let's say that happens too often. That's like the death of a relationship.
Absolutely.
So, but you can't blame the other person either unless they're trying to duck you, which also isn't nice, but we can get into that in another
Another time.
conversation.
And
But
I feel a lot of that goes back to values and communication and other things too.
yeah,
So,
but I think even just 5 minutes, like it's just that connection they say. It's like it's also with, you know, people texting. If someone's consistent a certain way and then all of a sudden they stop doing it, you know, it's not anything other than the fact is it's inconsistent and people's brains pick up on inconsistencies so quickly, which is why it bothers them, right?
And panic sets in.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, your brain starts telling stories. So that's why it's a good thing to do because it keeps everyone sane.
Yeah.
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 All right. Number 14 we mentioned, give up your seat if she is standing. Let's touch on that one. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I fully agree. But have you seen social media recently?
Oh.
There's some beautiful things by young men going around, you know, where a young woman will walk up and accost them for not giving him her seat. What do they usually do? Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
They usually scream out at her, do you believe in feminism? And if not, right, feel free to have my seat. But if you do, not giving it up. So that's the current movement for young men. So, but that brings us to moving along the topic. So we have ended, those are all the aspects of chivalry. But we are moving around this topic pretty quickly as to why is chivalry so confusing for men and why is it dying? So do you want me to give you some of these quick topics?
If you got a point, yeah, if you have points, let's go through it. And then
I mean, the
point
point of it is that they may have a point when they're saying that. I don't like their delivery of it.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that, you know, it's become such an argument. It's not conversation and the way it's being posted. But it is a different age. And keep in mind, chivalry is an age-old thing. We like to hold on to certain parts of it because there's a pride in that. I understand that. But can we say there might be an argument on the other side? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Right. And I want to go back to then the bigger picture, which if you look at chivalry as a microcosm of societal values, okay? And you look at society today, people don't hold doors. People don't say good morning. People don't say thank you. I was away, as you know, a couple of weeks ago. I cannot tell you how many times I'm trying to get off the elevator. Before you can get off, people are getting on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to do that. You're going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
Like, let me off. You see that on the subway. Cars are backed up, bumper to bumper. Someone's trying to get in. Let the person in, right? How you're not going anywhere. Let the person in.
Yeah.
So it's becoming endemic in society where people
don't treat other people the way they would like to be treated.
They don't.
In general.
The bottom line, they don't give a shit. It's all about me and entitlement, and not everyone, right? I don't want to generalize.
Yeah, but the whole world is like my side against your side against this side instead of just what's right. And chivalry was supposed to be about what's right.
But even if it's not about this side and that side, it's just people are so self-absorbed that that's part of the issue. So again, we go back to this. You see, no different than we talk about in the subway. If you see an older adult or you see someone who's pregnant, get off your ass and give this seat.
Oh, there's no respect for your elders anymore either with the younger generation.
That's what I say. But this is endemic. And why is it endemic? In my opinion, part of it, in some cases, is parenting. There's still great parents out there, but some of it's parenting. Some of it,
media.
Social media plays a big role with the stupidity and things that are out there.
Schools changed in what they teach.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a big thing. I'll never forget. I would actually go and, for example, when I'd hand out pieces of paper, and it's the funniest thing, but I remember in one case I handed it out and the student took it.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear, so I took the paper back and they're trying to grab it, and it was like a tug of war.
Yeah.
And the kids were all laughing and I'm going, say thank you, say thank you.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like, oh, thank you. Because,
into it.
but all the other students, but I used to stand at the door every morning, good morning, how you doing? These basic things, right? So, but not everyone does that because for some...
Sometimes you can teach it to your kids and they're still in one ear out the other.
But I'm talking about even in the schools, some people, you walk through the halls quietly, you do this. Others, is it a profession or are they just there to collect a salary? I'm not teacher bashing in general, but teaching's changed too.
Union?
No, not at all.
Don't
Don't fire me up.
No,
this is about chivalry.
let's not talk
But
now,
so all
okay?
I'm saying is, why is it dying? I don't think it's dead, but like I said, I think it's on life support, and I think it's endemic.
So these aren't our thoughts. I'm going to read this off.
Okay.
So the topic here in this section is why is chivalry dying? This comes from FSU News, which I believe Florida State University. .com story opinion from 2021. It says chivalry didn't die. It was killed. Okay.
Yep.
So then, and you can decide for this after the podcast and you let us know what you think. But I believe this was a young man who wrote this.
Okay.
It says that chivalry is killed or has been killed by the women's movement, toxic masculinity, the fight for the patriarchy, the pill, redefined gender roles, and changes in morality. Not done yet. Many women find aspects of chivalry condescending because they can do it themselves. Okay. Next, modern feminists push the idea that the patriarchy still exists to suppress women. Okay. So now I have all these aspects. Okay. What is confusing in this day and age for men, though, with chivalry? So you have this movement on one side, you have the chivalry movement on the other. And I remember having this conversation with my mother, okay, about chivalry, and it was backed up by stats, which I don't have in front of me, but I know the stats. Women 70 to 90 still believe in chivalry, okay? It said women 35 to 55 were almost raised to dislike men, okay? My mother's best line ever was, she's like, women today like to suck and blow. It did not mean how it came out originally. It just means they like to eat their cake, have their cake, and eat it too. Meaning that, why is this so confusing for men again? Because women are wanting to have their cake and eat it too, based on statistics, not us.
Okay.
No witch hunt.
So here's what I'm going to say.
Just kidding.
The information you just read, I think it's almost a podcast unto itself as another topic, something I'd like to explore further. And to be quite honest, I want to go out in the street and talk to women in that demographic. I'd love to get their take on it and what they think around chivalry.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, at least in closing, my thoughts are, I don't want to see it as being dead, but like I'm going to go back, as I said, it's on life support.
Yeah.
And even if it is dead, a little bit of magic, a little bit of voodoo, let's find a way to revive it. Okay. Let's bring it back.
I mean, I'm still going to play devil's advocate and try to take the other side, even though I'm a chivalrous person, and I'm still going to say, why is this confusing for men? Let's go through quick list, and then we're going to finish up here because, this is a hard topic. We're going to get in trouble. I love you, Mom. Modern independent women still want to enjoy some of the relics of chivalry, like some of the things you said, right? Like not having to pay for dinner for the first 10 dates, maybe, or ever.
There's a difference between chivalry and, again, being a doormat.
Okay. But then they're expecting the men to always ask them out for the dates, pay for the dates, perpetuate old school gender norms, but only when it's convenient for them. That's the problem. Only when it's convenient. Other times they'll say, no, I don't want that. So parts of chivalry are outdated for them, but other aspects are still welcomed by them. And why? We know why.
Yeah, we know why.
Right? So fairy tale romance is still perpetuated. But women want the fairy tale romance. What's happening after the fairy tale romance is over? Masculine, feminine energy. More often than not, women, when they get married, have been statistically now known to take on
the masculine role. And males today, in terms of the loss of masculine energy, and again, there's so much to dig and delve into this.
Yeah. Okay. Most marriages are ended by women 70%. Women do not honor their marriage vows. This is things that are written here.
It's okay. So when the angry comments come in, direct them to Adam.
No, I'm just reading what's on the page. Relationships are too transient. There's no loyalty or trust. This is also killing things like chivalry. People are dating multiple people at once, men and women. But women still want to be wined and dined like the old days, by a man. Meanwhile, he was dating one woman at a time. All his resources would go towards one woman in that situation. Obviously because this was before the pill, that was for marriage. So there are specific reasons for that. But meanwhile, that's still the norm today. Is it outdated? Because I know you wanted to take that side, but this makes it harder for you to take that side.
Okay. So when we go back to that original list, okay, I'm not talking about these. Again, these are all kinds of topics that need exploration onto itself. Okay. When we get into small things such as check to make sure she gets home okay, right?
That's just being a good person.
But that's not even out there. And so if I'm talking about these basic tenets, right? The basic premise, we started with chivalry and the historical path you took us down, where it all came from. These basic tenets of being a decent human being we're not seeing. So when I say we need to go back and find, this is what I'm talking about. All these other things are a whole other conversation piece, and
Okay,
and
but
that and that can't be
we're
solved today.
talking as men that have respect for women. Okay, and you and I do. We have great respect for
Yeah,
women. You know, it starts with our mothers, starts with our grandmothers, works all the way
I've
down.
got I've got
I have a
sisters.
daughter,
Yeah, I've
right?
got
And
nieces. Yeah,
nieces too. Yeah,
exactly.
right. But here, this is what it says about modern attitudes towards men. There is a contagious transfer of male demeaning attitudes among women. Groups of female friends and associates are believed to be in cahoots about how men should be put in their place. Okay. This came from a Huffington Post article. It's an opinion piece in the UK. It says feminism and its inconsistencies are confusing to men. Her name was Sarah Satleello, 2018. Okay. So we have women believing that women believe that about men. So are men being taken advantage of by staying chivalrous?
No,
Okay, let's leave that up to, our viewers to decide. But I
I,
think it's been a really good topic.
I think it's been an interesting topic, and I think it leaves a lot for discussion. And so I hope, I would love to hear male point of view. I'd like to hear the female point of view on this. So,
Well, I'd like to hear everyone's point of view on
yeah.
this of all ages too,
Oh,
because it'll be so all over the place, but it'll
absolutely.
be interesting to see.
Okay.
So,
So let's leave it there,
yeah.
and we'll see what people have to say.
Okay, good.
Okay. So
I'm Adam.
I'm Al. We are the Kings of Chaos. If you liked what you heard, remember to please follow us on all the streaming platforms, Kings of Chaos Podcast, and like us, support us on YouTube, the Kings of Chaos Podcast. We appreciate you joining in. Until next time.
And keep living the impossible dream.